All right, let's get right into it. This isn't just another story about crypto going to the moon, you know? This is something way bigger. We're talking about a hidden war, a fight that's happening behind the scenes for the very soul of the US dollar.
So, let me ask you a question to kick things off. What if the dollar could just escape the bank? I mean, really think about that. What if it wasn't stuck with 9 to 5 banking hours or tangled up in cross-border transfers? What if it could just zip around the globe 24/7 as easily as sending an email? Well, that's not some sci-fi concept anymore. It's happening right now.
You know, for the longest time, everyone kind of wrote off stablecoins as just casino chips for crypto traders, right? A way to move money around the digital Wild West. Well, you can just throw that idea out the window. That view is totally obsolete. The new reality? A massive battle for the future of money is kicking off, and it's a three-way brawl between some of the heaviest hitters in finance.
And see, this is way bigger than just some new shiny tokens. We're talking about a huge structural change. The dollar is literally breaking out of its old cage, and the new battlefield? It's the entire global financial system.
And this quote really nails it. The dollar is evolving. It's going from this abstract idea that lives on a bank's ledger to a tangible digital object, something you can hold in a digital wallet, send anywhere, and use for anything 24/7. That single shift, it changes absolutely everything.
So who's actually fighting in this new dollar war? Well, there are three main armies, and what's so fascinating is that they used to live in completely different worlds. You've got the crypto natives, the folks who kicked this all off with stablecoins, then you've got the Wall Street giants, the asset managers juggling trillions, and finally the big banking titans who, run the whole show right now. And suddenly, they're all marching onto the same battlefield, fighting for the same territory.
And look, if you think this is some niche, nerdy crypto thing, think again. This is happening, and it's happening fast. A recent report from Citi, that Citi, found that a whopping 65% of institutions plan to be using these new forms of digital money, things like stablecoins or tokenized deposits, by 2026. That's just around the corner. The train has already left the station. Okay, so to really get what's going on, we have to break down these three competing armies. Each one is coming at this with a totally different playbook, different weapons, and a completely different idea of what the future of the dollar should even look like.
All right, first up, army number one, the crypto natives. These are the OGs, the incumbents, like Tether. And their business model is frankly brilliant. They tap into this massive global hunger for US dollars, especially from people locked out of the traditional system. They take those real dollars, they park them in super safe US Treasury bonds, and they just collect the interest. But here's the kicker. They then shave off some of that profit and roll it into riskier stuff like Bitcoin. It's become this incredible, self-funding money machine.
Okay, now for army number two, the Wall Street giants, think BlackRock. And their move is so interesting because it's not what you'd expect. They're not creating some crazy new speculative coin. No, they're taking one of their most traditional, almost boring products, the money market fund, and just putting it on a blockchain. Why? So they can offer their institutional clients yield on their cash 24/7. All that cash that used to just sit there overnight, now it's active, programmable collateral that can be used anytime.
And that brings us to the third army, the banking titans. JP Morgan, Visa, the big guys. Their play is, well, it's mostly defensive. They're seeing their clients' money flow out of their accounts and into stablecoins and these new tokenized funds, and they're not happy about it. So they're fighting back with their own version, deposit tokens. You can think of them as bank-issued, fully regulated stablecoins. The whole point is to offer the same convenience, but keep it all inside their walled garden, plugging right into the corporate finance systems their big clients already know and use.
So let's just recap the battlefield here. It's pretty clear, right? You've got the crypto natives who have this huge global network effect because they were first. You've got Wall Street bringing the big guns of regulation and yield. And then you have the banks who have a lock on enterprise integration. Three very different armies with three very different superpowers. So here's where it gets really interesting. Maybe this isn't a war where one side wins and the others go home. Instead, what we're actually seeing is the construction of a whole new financial architecture. Let's call it the digital dollar stack. Think of the stack as having three main layers, okay? At the very bottom, you've got the payment layer. This is all about instant global money movement. That's stablecoin territory for sure. Then, sitting on top of that, you have the yield layer. This is where you put your digital dollars to work to earn interest. And that's where Wall Street and its tokenized funds are planting their flag. And finally, at the top is the integration layer, the bridge that connects this new world back to the old one. And that's the home turf of the big banks.
So that's the digital dollar stack in a nutshell. It's basically a new, multi-layered backend for how money works, and each of our 3 armies is trying to own a critical piece of it. The fight's not just about who has the best token anymore, it's about who controls the infrastructure.
All right, I know what you're thinking. A stack, layers, why does any of this matter to me? Well, it matters a lot, because this isn't just some abstract theory. This is about who gets to control the fundamental plumbing of our future economy.
Remember that yield layer we just mentioned, the one Wall Street is jumping into? Well, it's not some future concept. It's already a $13.4 billion market. That's real, serious money being put to work in these new systems right now.
And this isn't a monopoly either. It's a full-on competition. You can see you've got multiple heavyweights, from Circle with USDC to BlackRock with Buidl, all battling for a slice of this pie. This has moved way beyond the experiment phase. This is a real, live, competitive market.
So what happens next? Well, you can kind of see 3 possible futures playing out. The best case scenario, all these layers become interoperable. They talk to each other seamlessly, and we get a radically more efficient financial system for everyone. The more likely scenario, the base case, it grows but it stays fragmented, different networks for different users. And the worst case, a big regulatory shock, or one of these major issuers fails, and the whole thing gets hit with a massive crisis of confidence. So yeah, the stakes here are unbelievably high.
And this all leads us to the real punchline, the most crucial takeaway. The ultimate prize in this whole game, it's not about issuing the winning token. No, it's about controlling the operating system, the fundamental OS that dictates how all these different layers, the payments, the yield, the integration, actually connect and talk to each other. Whoever controls that OS controls the whole ecosystem. I mean, just think about that for a second. The most valuable company of the next decade might not build a new app or a new gadget. It could very well be the company that builds the operating system for money. The only question is, who's it going to be?